how many years did you play in the National Football League now?
13.
13-year career, freshly done. Joining us here in studio, one of the best to do it, Malcolm Jenkins. Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you as well.
Were you here for the ESPYs? Is that what you're here for?
Yeah. In town, ESPYs, see some friends.
Okay.
Get some good weather.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how many ESPYs have you been to?
Which 3 or 4.
3 or 4?
Yeah.
Okay. You know, I kind of asked that. It's my ESPY invitation's been lost in the mail 19 straight years.
Oh, man.
Yeah. 19 straight years.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like, you could go back to the Eagles right now and say hello to people, right? You could do that, right?
For sure.
Okay. You go back to the Saints and say hello to people.
I can walk, yeah.
You can walk in there. Obviously, I know you can walk into Columbus, Ohio, and the seas part for you.
Yeah.
You know, I've got friends with ESPN, but 19 straight years.
There, that says a lot. That's a big statement. Are you sure they got the updated address?
I get some.
Have you asked?
I mean, Chris Berman. I got holiday cards from him. 19 straight years. And I found a video that I put on my Instagram last night. Somebody sent me of Stuart Scott and I doing the post ESPY show in 1999. I have a history too.
Yeah.
You know,
if I ever have like an event that's sort of like the ESPYs, you will always.
Oh, is that right? The Jenkies? Is that what it's called?
Whatever it is, I'm working on the concept now. But you will be invited.
Oh, fantastic! So, what was it like last night? Was that like?
You know what?
Did you have fun?
I think because you know what happens when you put a bunch of athletes together, everybody competes and kind of want to look cool and things like that. But this was, Steph Curry obviously hosted it. It was really funny, and I thought, for me, I laughed probably more than I have in a long time at the ESPYs. And that might have something to do with being retired and a little bit more relaxed now.
Yes.
But it was a lot of powerful moments, too, like a lot of tearjerkers.
That's the way it always is, right?
Sports, man.
That is sports.
Yeah.
It's about life.
Yeah. And I think more than ever, we're starting to see just how much sports really impacts, like, all of these different areas of the world in our, lives. It's not just what happens on the court or on the field. And I think, what is starting to happen is players and athletes are starting to really own those stories, and they're showing up. So it was awesome.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, and you were, if I'm not mistaken, you designed your own suit last night?
As I always do.
Damari, right?
Yeah,
that's your clothing company?
That's wow. Honestly, that's the only reason I go to the ESPYs is because
look at that.
I enjoy designing my clothes and going to a red carpet. Football players, we don't get all the celebrate. We don't get celebrated like that.
Okay, so put that photograph up one more time if you don't mind. There's back here on the Rich Eisen Show on Peacock, and our terrestrial audience is back here once again. Malcolm Jenkins is here in studio after 13 National Football League playing careers and rings in 2 spots, beating Tom Brady and Peyton Manning in Super Bowls. I do love that stat. Joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show, Malcolm Jenkins is here. And so walk me through you designed your suit last night. So is that a suit? Like, is that a jumpsuit with a
so it's actually
a jacket?
Vest. It's actually an extended vest. So what I tell my team at Damari is like, okay, hey, I feel relaxed. Like I want something flowy that can move. And so we came up with that, and then they came up with the print. I was like, oh, y'all, that's a lot of print.
That's a lot.
It's a lot of print.
That is.
But a lot of the silhouettes come from just my travel. A lot of it comes from some of the silhouettes that I've seen in my travels to Ghana. But yeah, it's something that's flowy. It's a little bit different than I usually am. I'm usually in something that's more constructed with a suit. So I wanted to change it up a little bit.
Because it looks like you've got, there's K-Phrase.
Oh, yeah.
You're dropping knowledge with K-Phrase right there on the red carpet, because it looks like it's a coat on top of a vest with like a tie pant. Is that what it is?
It's a drawstring pant.
Drawstring pant.
It's got like a wide leg. It flows. It's a shirt, and then the jacket is actually sleeveless, so it's just an extended vest, which I took off immediately after the red
extended vest, but those sleeves.
That's the shirt.
That's the shirt.
Yeah, everything is the same pattern or the same print.
Damn.
Yeah, it's a lot of print.
Okay. And is part of the pants gold on purpose? Is that what that is? Is that a reference to our rivalry in a way right there? Or
is that how you're about to segue?
Is
that the segue?
It's not the segue. Well, it's not the segue.
It's not the segue.
But I have to say the segue because I might get sued for copyright infringement. Did you see that? Did you see that Ohio State trademarked the word "the"?
That was a while ago. And it's in the name. It's in the name.
What's it? So it's in the name of the University of Michigan too.
It's not.
What are you talking about?
It's not the University of Michigan. It's not in your official name. It's literally part of the name. It is not Ohio State. It's literally the Ohio State University.
Can you look that up, Chris?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can fact check.
We can fact check.
You just pulled up the document.
I pulled up. I mean, just because there's a document doesn't mean
just
it's
the
like
legal. The legal document doesn't matter.
The legal document doesn't matter. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean, you go to osu.edu. It does say the Ohio State University.
Okay, right. And what is it when you go to umich.edu? What does it say? What does it say? What does it say?
See. It just says University of Michigan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Can we put I get a scoreboard overlay 1-0?
Well, I mean, if you want to include the latest scores, it's now tied.
Hey, that's.
I guess.
I'm happy with being tied. You blew your shot.
I did not.
This is the 1 year.
This is the 1 year. Michigan wins, and you say, "That's it. I'm done with football." I saw that. You took it hard, man.
I did. I didn't watch much of Ohio State football.
You took it hard. That's it. I'm finished with football after Michigan beats Ohio State.
It's an upsetting game.
Malcolm Jenkins here on the Rich Eisen Show. So moments ago, you said, the ESPYs, you were a little more relaxed even in a setting like that because of retirement. Do you feel more relaxed now that you're done?
I do. My body did a weird thing about 2 weeks ago.
What happened?
I'm trying to do this thing where I spend more time just doing the things I enjoy. So chilling, reading, writing, things like that.
Right.
But out of nowhere, I'm like, I got to get focused. Like, I had this urge to get in the gym and start working out. And then I happened to talk to like Brandon Brooks and one of these guys, and he was like, "Yeah, how you feeling now? You're not going to training camp." Mm-hmm. And I said, "Is that what's happening?" My body is
no kidding.
Is ready for camp. It's like, "Hey, what are you doing? We're supposed to be getting ready." And so, there's a lot of those kind of transitions of just getting used to not having like that looming season and training camp coming. That part has been more chill.
What do you think it's going to feel like on week 1? I guess that is September 11th, 2022, New Orleans at Atlanta, when that blood sport rivalry goes down.
Do they got Atlanta or Tampa?
New Orleans at Tampa. Is week. New Orleans versus Tampa is week 2.
Week 2, okay. Oh, so they starting. Oh, they
at Atlanta. They're just jumping right.
Right in it.
Yes, jumping right.
It's gonna be big. I think.
What about how do you think you're gonna be?
How I'm gonna feel?
Yeah.
I don't think I'm gonna miss the game like that. I do find myself watching old games though.
What do you mean?
So I didn't watch a lot of football growing up. I like to play in the streets. So. Mm-hmm. I never really had a ton of NFL role models. And so now I'm going back and looking at all of these old games, what made Ed Reed great, what made Ray Lewis great. And I really love the game. And so as a fan of the game, I've never had that opportunity to actually have that vantage point. So I'm looking forward to actually just being able to sit and evaluate a game from the seat of a fan. Because I love the game.
What do you have any interest in the paparazzi, media, podcast, anything like that? I know you have so many endeavors of your own.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me, I'm always hesitant I want to make sure that whatever I do is organic to me.
Of course.
And so podcasts, I feel like everybody is starting to do something where they own their own voice. And I'm conceptualizing some things, but I want it to be something that I feel passionate about, talking about consistently, which oftentimes is a little bigger than sports. It's a little bigger than social commentary. But yeah, I think you'll see some of that stuff coming out soon.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think you'd be terrific at it.
Yeah.
You have so much to say. You have so many experiences. You have rings. You've got moments where you left from one team to another. You've got 13 years. You have an idea about what retirement is. I mean, you've experienced quite a bit in the NFL world, and I'm sure you've seen the I Am Athlete podcast, The Pivot.
I love it. Yeah.
Those are shows that I think you would either fit into or have your own version of it. Yeah. Is that something that you'd be?
I think so, but it's also we don't need everybody doing the same thing, right? I think The Pivot and I Am Athlete, I think are gold standards. All the smoke, where athletes can come and be completely themselves. Correct. We get to peek into that locker room. but we don't need every athlete just doing that. Mm-hmm. So I think there's some things to do horizontally where we spread out some of kind of those topics of what we talk about, and I think that's where really I'm trying to go. But yes, that same feel where you want guests to be able to come in and put their hair down, reveal things that they haven't done before because they trust kind of who they're sitting and talking with.
Malcolm Jenkins here in the Rich Eisen Show. How about the business of football, like with the union or anything like that? Are you still want to be involved in that sort of thing?
No, I've done my time.
You've done.
But
you're out.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it is one of those things that I'm always, available. I make myself available to pass down those lessons because, I have, from the business standpoint, I've learned a lot in those 13 years coming in as a rookie, like you said, having to change teams, having a role from just a at-large member of the union all the way to the executive committee, having to negotiate, things with the league just as a group of players for things outside of football. Like I've had those experiences, and so and now there's a new kind of group of leadership, and so I find myself more so in an advisory role, just to pass down those lessons as they, take the game further than we did.
Malcolm Jenkins here on the Rich Eisen Show. If you don't mind, I will ask you a paparazzi type question.
Okay.
What do you think about Jameis's ability to come in and win ball games? I mean, now Dennis Allen's there, no Sean Payton, Michael Thomas is coming back. I don't know what is happening with Alvin Kamara. So what do you make of the Saints 2022 outlook?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is going to be predicated on what Jameis can do. But because I think last year we were really excited about the team that we had. Like our defense is the best defense I've been a part of. We had everything in place. Even with losing Drew Brees, we knew that we had some pieces. And Jameis came out playing well. And I think he spending that time behind Drew and Sean is really understanding how to manage a game. Still, he's going to be the bombs over back. He just loves to,
of course,
stretch the field.
He has the arm for it.
He has the arm for it. But it's about, being smart about his decision-making. And we saw it before he got injured. And so hopefully now it's, what does he look like when he comes back? Is he going to be that same quarterback? Is he trending in that direction? I believe so. I think he's a phenomenal leader. And I never would have said that until I got in the locker room with him. But he's somebody that I think the team gravitates around. And they already have strong leaders in place. Demario Davis, Cam Jordan, now I'm putting Tyrann Matthews, Landry in.
Right.
They've got a ton of support, veteran support, to where all of those parts won't be on Jameis. And so he can focus on his play. And I think in a situation like that, he'll have success.
And as if you needed more Buckeyes on the team. I mean, they got Olave.
Yeah.
He's really, really good.
Yes. They got a lot of weapons that, and they love to draft Buckeyes.
I know that. I know that. Did you get a sense that Sean Payton was thinking of tapping out?
No.
Last year?
No. I don't. Any good coach is not going to, you're not going to show signs that your coach is thinking about quitting. That probably wouldn't bode well in the locker room. But, I think it was a little bit surprising, but, you be in the game long enough, it's not many things surprising.
Right. Yeah. And so, all right. And then what about your other old spot, Philadelphia? And Jalen Hurts, the question about whether he can take another step forward. I do believe in him. I like him. Yeah. I like him a lot. What do you think of what the Eagles are building and their ability to maybe overtake the Cowboys in that division? What do you think?
I think what the difference that you're seeing between the Cowboys and the Eagles is the Cowboys have their franchise players that they're building around, and the question is, can they win a championship with those players? But every year they're, pretty much in the running. They're a competitive team and can win games with the people they have. I think with the coaching change and just some of the loss of a lot of the veterans in the Eagles locker room, the stability of that culture isn't there yet. And a lot of that is now trying to fall on the quarterback. And that's really not – it's a lot different than how I describe what a Saints locker room is, where you have all of these, kind of other leaders who can really develop the entire team, develop a winning culture, and it's not on just the quarterback to determine if we win or lose. And that seems to be the rhetoric coming out of Philly. And so I think it's one of those things that he's got the talent. Like, he's producing. It's how long is that leash and how much support are y'all willing to put into it. They've said they've been all in, and he's definitely got to prove it. But it's a different situation. It's not like he has like he's in a situation that, where he can thrive and shine. He's got to really put it on his back and lead that team. And so it'll be interesting to see. They're in it's always tough in the NFC East, but it's always competitive. Every year flops. It's never like they have to be 2 years, 3 years out before they can compete. Every year they'll be able to compete for the East. So we'll see.
Well, I know, and again, I know you kind of smiled before about the stat that I had mentioned. I do it every time with you, is that you're the only guy to have, beaten Tom Brady and Peyton Manning in Super Bowls. You did Peyton Manning. You beat him back in his day when he was with the Colts, and then you took care of Brady when you were with the Eagles. Mm-hmm. So, in that respect, with Brady, what, from your perspective, has the Saints been able to do since he's gotten to Tampa?
Yeah,
and just absolutely, kryptonized him. Yeah. What are the Saints able to affect, and might be able to do it again with Brady coming back one more time for Tampa, do you think?
Well, I think,
Malcolm,
it's not much to do with Tom, actually. It's the Saints defense, especially the secondary, was built to beat Tampa Bay. And so that rivalry and that kind of, competition was there before Tom got there. And so when you look at, okay, those 2 years, you had myself matched up with Gronk. That was a good matchup. You have Lattimore on Mike Evans. It's a great matchup. Mm-hmm. C.J. Gardner-Johnson's in the slot was on A.B. or Godwin. That's a great matchup. On the other side was Adebo or Janoris Jenkins, who can match up with any third receiver. And so there's not like Tom Brady's whole game is take advantage of matchup issues. There are none when the Saints played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I think that 1 year where we beat them twice and then they beat us in the playoffs,
yes,
they won that game off of running the ball and their defense taking the ball away. And I think that, to me, is when Brady tries to win that game throwing it, that plays right into the Saints' hands. So that game, that style of play, Brady has to win that game with his left hand. And I think that's what makes that matchup so interesting, so difficult for him. Because what he does best, what works every single week, is not going to work against the Saints.
So you're not there. Gronk's not there now.
Right.
They just got Kyle Rudolph, which makes you think maybe I find that funny. Like, well, the door's closed to Gronk. I don't know about that. Like, if Gronk calls up like around October, or Brady calls Gronk around October, November, and he says yes, they might find a few reps for him. But
I bet.
Right. So and Godwin's hurt. Mm-hmm. So do you think the way things are constituted, obviously now Tyrann Mathieu there, the advantage is still towards the Saints when they match up in week 2 and whenever they do match up? Because that might be the NFC South in a nutshell, with due respect to Carolina.
I mean, the fact that they have to start off with 2 conference opponents to start the game, those first 2 weeks they're gonna show up later in the year. Mm-hmm. And so I think those are gonna be really important games. And I think a lot of it's gonna come down to less about Tom Brady against the Saints defense and more so, what will the Saints offense look like against the Tampa Bay defense? Because I've seen, we've seen the explosiveness of the Saints, and we know how that has been.
Yes.
We want to know if that's going to continue. But that Tampa Bay defense is the wild card. Like, when they show up, they make things happen. And so I think that's really the matchup that I'm looking at. I think it's going to be pretty much the same from the Saints defense and Tampa Bay's offense. That'll be a good battle. They'll make plays, but that defense is going to match up well. It's going to be against the Saints offense and the Bucs defense, who can, take care of the football, create those plays, and manage that game the best.
It's great to see you.
Yeah,
it really is great to see you. Don't be a stranger. Certainly, if you don't mind, I'll reach out to you, just check in with you during the season. If you'd like to chop it up any way?
I'm
Just
sure
let me
I
know.
will. I'm acting all cool and calm and collected now. But come see
What, around
me.
October 10th, you'll be just like,
if
what?
I find myself doing drills in the backyard, I'll just come here.
Anytime. How can people get involved in anything that you're doing? How can they go?
You know, actually, this is like one of the few times I'm actually not promoting many things, but anybody can always help. Still doing great charity work through the Malcolm Jenkins Foundation.
Okay.
Supporting things in 4 different states. So anybody wants to get involved and continue to support what we do, especially now that I'm not playing anymore, the Malcolm Jenkins Foundation.org. And yes, the is in the name, the Malcolm Jenkins Foundation.org.
And I guess you're allowed to use the without payment.
We have a trademark. We have a trademark.
There it is.
Too.
There it is. Look at the fine print. Look at the fine print. It
print.
says Malcolm can use it anytime he wants. That's what it says there. Fine print. And the states are, let me guess, Pennsylvania, New Orleans, New Jersey, and Ohio?
Yep.
There we go. Okay, very good. Don't forget, what exit are you from in New Jersey? What exit are you from?
Exit, well, depending on which side of town you want to go, exit, well, I get off at exit 10.
Exit 10 on the Turnpike.
Turnpike, yeah.
And on the Garden State what Parkway? What are we? 10, by the way. I used to get
Parkway. You'd be down towards
10.
like,
I think I used to get on.
stuff,
Isn't 10? 10
9
is
is New Brunswick.
Yeah, 9 is New
Is 10
Brunswick.
the outer bridge? Did I used to take that in Staten Island? You get 10.
You
Perth
way down.
Amboy.
Perth Amboy.
13. Well, 13 was the Gotham
13's
Bridge. I'm just 10.
13's
10 is Perth Amboy. I
10
used to
is
go to the
Perth
movies
Amboy.
in Perth
W, I
Amboy.
believe, is
There used to be a multiplex in Perth Amboy.
Right. I get off at 10 and I
yeah.
got to hit 287 to get to South
I think I saw Live and Let Die there. Oh, okay, very good. Malcolm, great to see you.
Good to see you as
Great
well,
to
man.
see you. The great Malcolm Jenkins. Always love when you stop by. Thanks for letting me know you're in town.